He's going to find out what's going on, and that's good. That's good for everybody. That's how you should be looking at this. Like, wow, we have a...
The ongoing clash between Joe Rogan, Whoopi Goldberg, and Elon Musk has ignited a firestorm that's shaking the media landscape to its core. What began as a seemingly offhand comment on a daytime talk show has spiraled into a high-stakes legal battle, a public relations nightmare, and a broader reckoning about accountability in the entertainment world. This saga isn't just about celebrity egos or fleeting headlines. It's a cultural flashpoint that raises urgent questions about the power of words, the responsibility of platforms, and the consequences of unchecked influence. At its heart, this controversy is a collision of personalities, institutions, and ideas, unfolding in real time for a global audience. It all started on The View, the long-running ABC talk show known for its fiery debates and unfiltered takes. During a heated segment, Whoopi Goldberg, one of the show's most prominent voices, made a jaw-dropping claim about Elon Musk, the billionaire CEO of Tesla, SpaceX, and X Corp. Looking directly into the camera, she suggested that Musk was using his vast wealth to manipulate government policies behind closed doors. But she didn't stop there. In a moment that left viewers stunned, she speculated that Musk and Senator J.D. Vance were plotting a political scheme so audacious it could reshape the nation's leadership. Her most explosive assertion, that Musk was positioning himself as a shadow president, ready to step in if Donald Trump were somehow removed from the political stage. The accusations were bold, delivered with the casual confidence of a seasoned host. But there was a problem. Goldberg offered no evidence to back them up. No documents, no sources, no whistleblowers, just pure speculation presented as fact to millions of viewers. The internet erupted. Social media platforms buzzed with reactions, ranging from outrage to disbelief. Analysts scrambled to unpack the implications, while Musk's supporters flooded X with posts condemning Goldberg's remarks. The fallout was immediate, and it was brutal. Elon Musk, never one to shy away from a fight, responded with lightning speed. Within days of the episode airing, his legal team filed a defamation lawsuit against Goldberg, accusing her of knowingly spreading false and damaging claims. The complaint didn't mince words. It alleged that her comments had caused tangible harm, including a dip in Tesla's stock price and the collapse of a major business deal reportedly worth over $100 million. Musk's lawyers argued that Goldberg's accusations weren't just reckless. They were malicious, designed to tarnish his reputation and undermine his influence. The lawsuit demanded a hefty financial payout, a public apology, and a televised retraction to match the reach of the original broadcast. For Goldberg, the consequences were swift and unforgiving. She walked into the courtroom expecting to navigate the situation with her trademark charisma, perhaps thinking she could talk her way out of the mess. But the judge wasn't swayed by charm, and the cameras weren't there to cut to commercial. As the weight of the charges sank in, Goldberg's composure crumbled. Reports from the courtroom described a dramatic scene, tears streaming down her face, her voice trembling as she apologized profusely. She told the judge she hadn't meant to cause harm, that she regretted her words and hadn't anticipated the firestorm they would ignite. But by then, the damage was done, and her emotional display did little to slow the legal machine bearing down on her. Enter Joe Rogan, the podcasting juggernaut whose voice carries weight across millions of listeners. On a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, he dove headfirst into the controversy, pulling no punches. Rogan didn't just critique Goldberg's actions, he dismantled the entire framework that allowed her comments to go unchecked. With his signature bluntness, he argued that Goldberg knew exactly what she was doing when she made those claims. You don't sit on one of the most watched shows in the country, throw out wild accusations about one of the richest, most influential men on earth and expect no consequences, he said. That ain't how it works. Rogan's takedown wasn't limited to Goldberg. He turned his fire on The View itself, questioning how a major network like ABC could allow such a reckless segment to air without basic fact-checking. This isn't a podcast in someone's garage, he said. This is primetime television. You don't get to wing it just because it fits the narrative. For Rogan, the issue wasn't just one host's misstep. It was a symptom of a broader media culture that prioritizes sensationalism over truth. He called it a consequences culture, not cancel culture, emphasizing that powerful figures like Goldberg should face real accountability for their words. The public response to Rogan's commentary was electric. Social media lit up with clips from his podcast as fans and critics alike shared, memed, and debated his points. Some hailed him as a truth-teller, unafraid to call out hypocrisy in the media. Others argued he'd gone too far, piling onto Goldberg when she was already down. Regardless of where people stood, one thing was clear. Rogan had tapped into a deep well of frustration with the state of mainstream media. His words resonated with those who feel that too many public figures wield their platforms without regard for the consequences, hiding behind fame or charm when things go wrong. But Rogan didn't stop at broad strokes. He got specific, digging into Goldberg's past to highlight what he saw as a pattern of opportunism. He reminded listeners that she hadn't always been a vocal critic of figures like Musk or Trump. Years ago, she'd been friendly with Trump, even appearing alongside him on The View and laughing off his antics on The Apprentice. Rogan played clips of those moments, painting a picture of a host who shifted her stance when it suited her career or the political climate. "This isn't about truth," he said. "It's about pushing a narrative that benefits certain people." For Rogan, Goldberg's flip-flopping was evidence of a deeper problem. A media landscape where loyalty is fleeting and principles are secondary to clout. Meanwhile, Musk's legal team was building a case designed to leave no room for doubt. They weren't just seeking a symbolic victory, they were aiming to set a precedent. Court filings revealed a mountain of evidence, including financial records, showing Tesla's stock fluctuations after Goldberg's comments, statements from business partners who backed out of deals, and expert testimony on the broader impact to Musk's reputation. The lawsuit framed her remarks as a deliberate attack, not a careless slip, and sought damages that some insiders estimate could reach $50 million. Beyond the money, Musk's team demanded a public reckoning, a retraction, broadcast to The View's massive audience, ensuring the correction matched the scale of the original offense. The case has sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. For years, daytime talk shows like The View have thrived on controversy, walking a fine line between opinion and fact. Hosts like Goldberg have built careers on their ability to speak boldly, often leaning into the gray area where personal views blur with public influence. But this lawsuit signals a shift. If Musk prevails, it could force networks to tighten their editorial standards, knowing that a single unchecked comment could lead to crippling legal and financial consequences. Some analysts are already speculating that Goldberg's days on The View could be numbered, as ABC grapples with the fallout and weighs the risk of keeping her on air. Goldberg, for her part, has been scrambling to contain the damage. Beyond her courtroom apology, she's issued statements expressing regret and insisting she never intended to harm Musk or his businesses. But those words have done little to quell the storm. Her credibility, once a cornerstone of her public persona, is now under scrutiny. Viewers who once saw her as a fearless truth-teller are questioning how much of her commentary is grounded in fact versus performance. Even her staunchest defenders are starting to distance themselves, wary of being pulled into the controversy's orbit. The saga has also sparked a broader conversation about the role of media in shaping public perception. The View isn't just a talk show. It's a cultural institution, watched by millions who look to its hosts for insight and perspective. When someone like Goldberg makes a claim, it carries weight, whether it's backed by evidence or not. Her comments about Musk didn't just spark debate. They moved markets, disrupted deals, and fueled a narrative that rippled far beyond the studio. That kind of power comes with responsibility, and Rogan's critique underscores a growing demand for accountability in an era where misinformation can spread faster than truth. For Musk, the lawsuit is about more than clearing his name. It's a stand against what he and his supporters see as a pattern of media overreach. Over the years, he's faced no shortage of criticism, from his business decisions to his public statements on X. But this time, he's drawing a line, signaling that he won't let baseless accusations slide. The case aligns with his broader mission to challenge institutions he views as corrupt or untrustworthy, whether it's government agencies, financial systems, or in this case, the media. For his critics, though, the lawsuit is a flex of wealth and influence, an attempt to silence dissent through legal intimidation. The truth likely lies somewhere in between. Musk's case isn't just about one comment. It's about the cumulative effect of a media culture that often prioritizes clicks over facts. Goldberg's remarks weren't an isolated incident. They're part of a larger pattern where speculation and hyperbole dominate discourse. Rogan's podcast, with its massive reach, amplifies that critique, urging listeners to question what they hear and demand better from those who shape the narrative. Together, their actions are forcing a reckoning, not just for The View or ABC, but for an industry that's long operated with a sense of invulnerability. As the legal battle unfolds, the stakes couldn't be higher. A ruling in Musk's favor could reshape how media outlets approach controversial topics, prompting stricter oversight and a reevaluation of what hosts can say on air. For Goldberg, the consequences are personal and professional, threatening a legacy built over decades in the spotlight. And for Rogan, the controversy is another chapter in his ongoing crusade against what he sees as a broken system, one that rewards outrage over reason. The story is far from over. More court dates loom, and the media frenzy shows no signs of slowing. Each new development, whether it's a leaked document, a viral clip, or a surprise witness, adds fuel to an already explosive narrative. For now, the world is watching, waiting to see who emerges unscathed and what lessons will linger when the dust finally settles. One thing is certain, this isn't just a feud or a lawsuit. It's a mirror held up to our times, reflecting the power of words, the fragility of trust, and the high cost of getting it wrong.